So this was grown in my friend Maxwell's garden in Alaska. We have in front of us a Carolina Reaper, known as the world's second hottest pepper. It's genetically modified. The guy who made it is named Ed Curry. He owns a company called Pucker Butt. And I'm really, really into hot sauces. And so I've been growing a lot of these super spicy peppers, offering them to people, making my own sauces, giving hot sauce samplings. And I figured the best way to start a podcast is kind of like Hot Ones. We're just going to take a big bite of the second hottest pepper in the world.
This is going to mess me up.
And we're going to sweat and cry together.
We are going to sweat and cry together. Oh, man. All right,
Do you want to go first or should I?
Under fire. Yeah, I'll take the first bite.
Yeah, you need a big bite of it.
A big bite?
Yeah. I mean, I've already had 3 really small. Oh, you're going to town. You might throw up. So, yeah, I would say eat half that.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'll take a big one too.
Whew.
Ooh. Yeah, I did not bring water. Oh, great.
That's all we got. Now that our mouths are on fire.
Yep. Keeps you on your toes.
So, fire spinning.
In our mouths.
In our mouths. You've been doing this a long time. You were one of the first performers that I saw years ago at Flowstorm in Austin, Texas, and you've been traveling for a long time doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've been going around 14 or 15 years. I first saw fire dancing at the Oregon Country Fair, which is an amazing event down in Eugene, outside of there in Veneta, where at the end of the cycle of the Grateful Dead, when the Merry Pranksters had their whole tie-dye bus, they ended up having a barter fair. And a lot of people don't know this history, but they went back to Eugene. They started a barter fair, all these hippies from the 60s, and then it just became the Oregon Country Fair. Very benign name. That now is like a 60 to 70,000 person full tie-dye festival. And like 15 years ago, I saw someone spinning fire, and I did martial arts as a kid. And I was like, that looks amazing. I know how to spin a stick. I went home, I looked it up online, found out how to make a fire staff off of a really old, bad tutorial that is now taken down. Like I went to the hardware store and just drilled in wick to a piece of PVC kind of metal or whatever, aluminum piping. And over then, like, figured out how to make my own props, moved to Portland, met the community, saw festival culture, and then, got introduced to all this.
Wow, that's incredible. And now you're instructing and traveling around. Where are some of the places and organizations you've worked with?
Well, I've been all over. I mean, I started just doing it as a way to get, like, free tickets to festivals. And then, you do a few years of that. Ooh, my mouth is on fire.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Sorry that we're drinking water. But
You do a few years of traveling around to, like, festivals for free. And I was like, okay, I only want to go to festivals that'll maybe not only give me a ticket, but then give me travel stipend. And it's like, okay, I don't even need, like, local travel stipend. I need, like, a plane ticket. And it's like, okay, plane ticket plus, like, $100 so I can pay for my food over the weekend. And then you just kind of keep building on that model. But it never really goes, like, a full professional career in this festival circuit. I have done that, but you have to, like, work for Nike, do corporate gigs, do all these things that aren't as soul enriching as this event, like Pacific Fire Gathering where we're at.
it did seem like a lot of time in most art forums, the more money a gig might pay out, the more you end up having to compromise because more people are involved in the bigger event. But bigger events you get to do.
It kind of depends. You can always put your own flair and your own soul into a big event. The event just needs to want you. If the event wants something that's not you, you got to decide, is it worth it to get paid and cater to something that's not you or not, you know? So it's funny, like, people ask what my prices are for gigs, but it's so wildly varied. If it's a nonprofit, it'll be free. If it's like Pack Fire, it's like, you pay for my gas out here, I'll do it. If it's like a wedding, okay, now we're talking about I need some compensation. And if it's like a corporate gig that I have to miss my friends' late night after party because I'm going to this thing and sacrificing something in my own personal life, I'll just throw out a number and be like $800. That's super high, but it's not, sometimes you get bit.
Or they're taking you to a city that you've not been before or wouldn't be in otherwise. And you
Yeah.
can stay there the night or get there the day before. It can be your whole weekend.
Yeah, for these festivals, that's what I love. They pay for the travel. So I'll get a plane ticket bought for me to just, like, fly to Chicago for the weekend, meet a lot of friends, fly home. And it's not like I got money, but I didn't lose money, and I had a great experience. So the reward is meeting the community, sharing what I love, being passionate. Yeah.
So I saw your stage show last night, or at the Friday night that you did. You had the Rick and Morty theme. That was hysterical. But still, I think my favorite performance I saw you do was the first one I saw you, where you got your fire skills from the staff spinning bear.
Uh-huh.
And there was an amazing story along with that, and how your journey as a fire performer to then be successful and make enough money to go to Burning Man every year.
Yep.
That was on the
Yeah,
lines.
that was the joke. It was
Yeah.
like he'll be a professional performer and make just enough money to go to Burning Man and buy a burrito.
That is excellent. So you've always seemed to have a knack for putting in a lot of story and play into your performance now. Is that something you've always done from the beginning, or did that evolve in time?
So I have a degree in journalism.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a creative writer growing up, and I got into video production really young age, skateboarding, snowboarding. That was my first flow prop.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized I wasn't going to be a professional skateboarder, I decided I could be a professional skateboard videographer. So I was working on that, editing some videos, got some stuff on like ESPN2, really felt like, okay, this could go somewhere. Went to school, and I went to University of Oregon, but they don't have a really solid film program back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have actually a film track, now I've heard. But back in the day, the way to get to videography was through journalism. So I had to do 2 years of prereq of journalism, although I was already a writer anyways, to get my hands on a camera to do video journalism and like, that whole video side called electronic journalism.
And that was back when video cameras weren't nowhere near as available or
Oh, man.
compact then. I
Yeah.
mean, so like it was
This is
like
14, 15 years ago.
yeah,
No, 17 years ago now.
for a small school or college to have a video camera, it's like worth $5,000. They maybe would have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Exception of like being in LA where those cameras are a lot more accessible, but
Yeah.
they're on film, which now the industry's going towards digital now.
It's definitely not something you could fit in your pocket. You had to go rent it from a closet, go out and film something, come back, get that tape and record it onto the computer.
Oh, I'm sure they encourage students to use their cell phones even to like.
I mean, nowadays, maybe. Back when I was there was no way that could be possible. But nowadays, for sure.
Oh, I was there when it was still cassette tapes. And you
Yep,
had to,
me too.
Or micro.
Yep. What was that mini US? No, it was those mini tapes. Were that mini DV? Yeah,
the
yeah.
mini DV tapes, and then
Uh-huh.
just rewinding them and
Exactly.
recording in real time.
You had these like kind of old school VCRs that would play it, but then hook to a computer, and it was like this weird breed of like there's a computer, but it's still a tape.
Oh yeah, those special tape decks are like $2,000
Oh,
too,
yeah.
still today,
Yeah.
and it's like the tape's worth 50 cents.
Yep, we had to
And
wait in
VCR's
line.
$20. Why is this 2,000?
Yep.
But
That's kind of like the funny Reddit subject where they the new Tool album came out, and the guy stole a CD, but he couldn't actually play it for anyone because no one could play a CD. It was like antiquated technology. There's this whole thing about it where this guy stole the CD. He had the Tool album like 4 days before they were going to release it, but nobody could rip it and no one could listen to it because no one had a CD player.
that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh man, I got to be at Burning Man this year when they did the album release party out on the playa with Alex Gray.
I saw the videos of Alex Gray out there, yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's fun.
good.
I heard someone parachuted in with the CD. They had a CD player.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, so is that how they hooked up? Like
yeah, they
actually played
parachuted
it?
in with the CD.
Wow.
Because it was released while Burning Man was already going.
They didn't even have that packed in. That's incredible. That's great. So you've been to Burning Man how many times?
I think 6 years now.
6
Not
years
in a
now?
row, yeah. My first year was 2010, and then I think I did 4 in a row, took a few years off, did 1, took a few years off, did 1. So I've done theme camps. I worked for Camp Question Mark, one of the biggest sound camps out there. I helped organize, I think the year I organized the stage performers for Camp Question Mark, we had like Skrillex and Diplo playing on our stage, and I had laminated passes and backstage schedules for 96 performers over the 7 days of Burning Man. And after I did that, I was like, that's enough work and enough of a gift. I'm going to do me. And now, instead of organizing people, I'm just going to go out and do my own love and perform when I can.
Nice. That's awesome. And now, I mean, I love that you're still giving back to the community and sharing that love. Like I get to get a little video the other day of your intro to contact staff workshop, where you were showing the 3 most powerful moves you could do for an audience.
Yeah.
That was amazing to catch. What's
Do you want to mention what those are?
who? Let's see. No, I can't remember. I was painting. Well,
So I
please
think
remind me.
first thing that will wow an audience is just ninja stance, solid grip, spin fast and smooth. Spin fast, spin fast, spin fast. Everyone loves things going quick. The second one is toss it super high. You know, spin fast, toss high. Man, audiences go crazy. They just want to see something thrown in the air, especially if it's on fire.
And he chunked that contact staff 30 feet in the air.
At least, yeah. You know,
That's
just
a 5
use
foot
the shoulder, not the wrist. You know, yeah.
And then number 3.
Is don't do anything. Just stand still. Tap low.
Catch it,
Yeah. But then tap low.
but then tap low.
Yeah, you just strike a pose like a superhero. And that's the thing I think fire dancers don't do enough of is you get really caught up in the moment of this thing is on fire, I got to keep it moving so I don't get burned until it goes out. Instead, it's like move it when you want, stop it. Move it again, stop it. And then a big thing I learned from Zan, who actually started Pacific Fire Gathering years ago, in his performance workshop, I think I took in possibly Costa Rica at Envision Festival years ago, was that his number one advice was don't put out if you're doing a staged fire show. You put out with the safety, you don't spin out. So you don't spin until the fire's gone. You spin, the fire's still there, and you stop. The fire lights you as a performer. You're being totally lit up by the fire, the ambiance. You still have this element that's amazing. You're controlling it, and you have complete control. And then when you want, you just set it to the safety, and it goes out. Instead of spin, and it goes out on its own, looks like you were waiting for it to go out, where if you just stop, give it to the safety, you're like, I'm in 100% control of this element. So it shows power.
Oh, I completely agree. I love it when performers, especially, bring multiple props and light more in their sets and put more out. Like, it definitely keeps the energy moving. And
You want to eat more pepper?
do you want to eat more pepper?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can eat more pepper.
Yeah, how about we
got-
split this piece?
Okay.
I just touched with my hand, so now I got to make sure I don't touch my eyes. Eating
As the
some
rain's
Carolina-
coming down heavy now.
Yeah. Carolina Reapers grown in Alaska.
This is definitely the hottest pepper I've ever eaten with.
Oh, man, it's really spicy.
So, do you fire breathe?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't put fuel in my mouth. There's like lines I come to, and risking my life is not one of them. I still walk, and that's as close as I get to real danger, because I could fall and like actually get hurt. Fire dancing, maybe you'll get like a little scar, you'll get a little brand, maybe you'll get like a small burn, a blister. But man, fire breathing, you can get chemical pneumonia and go to the hospital immediately. I don't fuck around with that.
Yeah, I've gotten early signs of chemical pneumonia twice when I was spinning at the Ren Fair in Texas, and that was from doing my fire breathing set at the beginning of the show, and then exerting and running across the arena for 30 minutes, aspirating with all that fuel on my chest and in my costume. Yeah, now I strictly save that to the end of my performance, and
There's
very
a lot-
seldomly now.
There's a lot of ways you can do the same thing. So people love big explosions. Obviously, fire breathing is an example of that. But you could do a burn off. You could do fire magic, like a podium. You know, make some like little wontons, like Kevin Axtell was talking about in his fire magic class. There's all sorts of ways you could just like come up with different explosive magic tricks that do the same visual look, but don't put it in your mouth, don't cause you physical harm. You know, I'd much rather go for that route.
And you're going to be able to keep doing it a lot longer.
Oh, that pepper's spicy.
It's definitely spicy pepper. Do you have a favorite class you like to teach out here at Packfire? Because you've been attending this for 10 years now.
Yeah, this is the 10th year anniversary. We're sitting Sunday. It's raining right in front of the lodge. Everyone's packing up in front of us. It's really beautiful.
Sounds like a normal exit for Packfire.
I mean, usually it's like good if it doesn't rain on the pack out, but I think like 90% of people already got out. It's like, what, 3 o'clock? Yeah, it's 3:15. So most people are gone by now. Just the organizers and a few stragglers are here. But yeah, at these events, my number one class I love to do is basic contact staff, just because that's where I started. And I love doing the basics because I love meeting the community. I love meeting new people. I love introducing the community to each other. And then I always try to organize a contact staff takeover at my class. So we did my class Friday, and then we did the contact staff takeover midnight. Oh yeah, we're wiping sweat off our eyes. I'm like kind of crying while I talk.
It's not the rain.
But yeah, so it's just like a nice way to meet new people and also introduce my passion. But I would say the first class I ever taught at Packfire, and one of my favorite classes to teach in general, is one called The Science and Sociology of Platonic Touch, aka Hug Life. So it's about hugs. And I've just learned from traveling, I give hugs because I'm from Oregon, Pacific Northwest, where we hug a lot. But I noticed like East Coast hugs a little less. You travel to different countries, man, it's totally different rules on what's appropriate for public, what's appropriate for private, what means sexuality versus just like connecting with somebody. And it's just been a really interesting conversation that I've loved to have in all over the world. And so I do a workshop where we just talk about what is a hug, what does that mean, how do you give the best hug, you know. So that's a really fun one too.
Well, what would you say, if you can, what is the best way to give a hug?
Oh, that's really easy. The number one takeaway from that workshop is the best hug you can possibly give is one someone wants to receive. So the way you do that is matching and mirroring. So you look at someone's vibe. If they're feeling really closed off and shut in, you don't just go and bear hug them because that would be really taking them out of their own personal comfort zone. You know, you approach in a way that's like matching their energy, mirroring their energy, and you give the same hug that they're giving. Then you can have a dialogue. You can be like, hey, can I hug on the side? Hey, can we do a longer hug? Hey, can you come in deeper? You know, but you ask. That's how consent works, you know. Instead of just like doing the hug that you want, and then maybe they didn't want that, you do the hug that you see that they want, and then you can ask for the hug that you want.
That's true, because some people might be a little more aggressive or like give a stronger hug that someone might not want, or even lift people off their feet.
Bear hugs, I totally say you shouldn't do, because as soon as you lift someone off your feet, you're taking someone away from their power, their comfort zone. They're no longer grounded. Literally, they're not grounded. You lifted them up. So I say if you want to do that, just check in with somebody, make sure you know them really well. Make sure that's something they want, not something you want.
Let's see. But there's so this being the 10th year of Packfire, is there anything in particular that stood out in your mind that made this year any different than some of the past ones?
I mean, I would just say the thing that really stood out for this year for me was just how professional everything went down. It's like, we're not new to this. We've been here for 10 years now. You know, people were prepared. You know, and that's the cool thing. Is like people were prepared with snacks. People were prepared with water. People were prepared for their workshops. People know to go to bed early so they can wake up early. You know, and the organizers are amazing. Like they're just doing the final touches on everything, like decorations in the background of maybe the stage or banners where they didn't used to be. They finally printed out this giant map of the festival grounds that's beautiful. So if you don't know where your workshop is, you can just look at this giant map and see where to go instead of having to ask 10 people where to go. Yeah, so like my big thing this year was bringing extra tarps. Like we knew it's going to rain. It usually rains a little bit. You know, you never know it's going to rain hard, going to rain soft, but it's going to rain a little bit. And so we brought all these tarps down to the fire circle. And instead of like bringing all our gear to the fire circle, bringing it all the way back to campsite, bringing it all the way to the fire circle the next day, we just brought it down once, tarped it, and then you can hang out. And it might be raining. You know, if I left my staff out, it would be soaking wet and I couldn't spin. But when I tarp it, then all of a sudden it's waiting for me. So when I came back at sunrise, just pull that out of the tarp, ready to go, put it back in the tarp. It's good for tomorrow, you know. So little pro tips.
And that's really smart, especially considering all the hills we have to climb up here.
I mean, it's not a lot, but it is a trek. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely elevation.
Yeah, carrying 15 pounds of flow equipment on your back will start to weigh on you going up and down.
I have 2 snowboard bags, at least 70 pounds of staffs I brought.
Wow.
I know my one snowboard bag I take on my plane flights is 50 pounds, and I brought a second one filled with swords, different fire accoutrements. And yeah, I have at least 70 pounds worth of props.
I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe you could probably talk about how you have figured out how to travel with your fire equipment, because I'm sure some people have had trouble or wondered like how you get through TSA and inspection with that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are worried. I would say the first thing is make sure that you check it. I never try to go on to a flight with a carry-on fire wick. I just think that people have done it. You can get through, but in my opinion, it's kind of a poor form. You're going to smell like fuel. I'd rather just check it. So whenever an event says, hey, I'll bring you out, I say, cool. The first thing I need is all my expenses covered. And that includes a $50 each way bag check fee. And then I check a snowboard bag. So if you say it's sporting equipment, you can get an oversized bag without any extra charge. So you say sporting equipment. They say, what sport? I say juggling. Juggling's a sport.
It is.
It's juggling equipment. It's sporting equipment. It goes into the free category. You get the long extended bag size. And I bring a snowboard bag that I fill with all my staves. And usually there's enough room to throw in like some clothing, maybe like a few extra things like a bottle of hot sauce because you can't bring liquids through. And then I just pack that, check that, bring a big backpack that has all my other clothes in it, and then call that good. And I've noticed a snowboard bag, you can find them at different places used for like 15, 20 bucks. Get a good one that's like reinforced, meant for traveling, has good handles, and it weighs out right between 48 and 52 pounds. And I've noticed if you're right on that 50-pound marker, at least Alaska Airlines, Delta, Southwest, they will all say they'll give you 51.9 pounds. And I've totally done it. Like you just pull out some socks, throw them in your backpack to make it 51.9, send that on the way, pick it up at the end.
That's excellent. Now, I know you also recently started teaching firewalk circles.
I mean, a few years ago, yeah, I think I'm in my 3rd year of teaching firewalks.
What is a firewalk for anyone who's not familiar?
So you basically have a big bonfire of a very specific, very well curated, specific type of wood, and you let it burn down until it's just the glowing embers and the coals that are dancing and giving off all the beautiful red light. You shovel them out into a pathway and you walk across them. Usually it's around 1200 degrees, hot enough to melt an aluminum engine from a car. You could just take the engine out of a new Prius, set it on that fire, and it would melt. But yet we can walk across it safely.
Excellent. And you do a very an excellent ceremony with it, as well as like providing a lot of information and some storytelling with the history of firewalking. And it really, I've not seen such a immersive event as one that you performed out there in Texas.
Nice. Yeah. I do them for Flowstorm in Texas. I did one for Campfire in Minnesota this year. I did one in Oregon here. I did one in Washington up for a friend, Drew, who just got certified to be a firewalker and wanted me to help tend a fire with him. And I just did one here this weekend. I think over the summer alone, I've probably had close to 300, 400 people walk on fire with me safely.
Wow.
I think in my 3 years, I've had well over 1,000 people walk on fire with me safely. But the ceremony part is you have this beautiful option. You're doing a simple task. You're making a fire, you're laying out coals, you're walking across it. You could do that theoretically in the time it burns down, and then you do it. There's only 2 actions, like 3 minutes of here it goes, we go. But you have 2 hours while that fire burns down, and you're not supposed to... You can't really get into that state of being able to do it safely unless you're very focused, you're very attentive, you're, really giving respect to the being in the moment, 100% present. And when you're 100% present, it gives you this rare opportunity to be reflective. You're like 100% in the moment, and that's a metaphor for a lot of actions that you could do in your life that maybe you wish you were more present for, or maybe you want to be more present for in the future, and we don't always take time to get all the distractions away, get the cell phones away, get the TV away, get even your work, your job, your friends, your family, get them away, and just be present on who you are, how you feel. Do you want to walk on fire? If the answer is no, don't do it. Like, that's a solid answer. If the answer is yes, you got to be ready to accept that yes. And I don't think we give ourselves enough moments in life to say, yes, I'm here. Yes, I want to be present. And I just try to take a moment to kind of share that, share a story about how important being present is for the 2 hours it takes that fire to burn down.
Wow. Still sucking down that pepper.
Man, that pepper is still hitting the back of my throat, yeah.
We got to finish.
Do you want
that.
more?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's
go for round 3.
Round 3.
You can have the seeds at the end, too.
Yeah, I know that.
You can plant them. In Texas, they'll grow great. These were sent from Alaska, and I have 19 pepper bushes in my backyard right now, along with 1 pot plant. I've never grown pot before, but in Oregon, it's legal. And I was like, well, why the hell not? I'm growing peppers.
Yeah.
Threw it out there.
That would be fun to grow. Ooh.
Yeah, that was a big bite.
Yeah. Ooh, hot.
Oh, and we're out of water. Holy shit. I'm out of coffee, too.
This was an excellent idea.
Service, water.
So, Tyler, I don't think I asked you earlier. What made you decide to start getting into the fire arts?
I kind of touched on it a little bit with Oregon Country Fair, and I said I saw it. I did martial arts when I was younger. I think I've always had a natural inclination to kind of be an extrovert, be like the one who I want attention. So I skateboarded, and I enjoyed skateboarding as a meditation, but I also enjoyed filming skateboarding as a way to show and show off. Kind of got into fire dancing in the same way of like, well, I know how to do staff spinning as like myself a meditation, something I enjoy, but I also really enjoy the flip side of that coin, which is showing off. Not everyone enjoys it, but yeah, I get a lot of energy from that. So even if I'm just like juggling in the park, when someone goes up and sees it and they're like really wide-eyed, I get excited and I want to like show off a little bit. I've noticed that especially with kids. I love inspiring kids who come up and they're like, have no idea what's happening. Their mind is blown. And you get to just like make them laugh, make them smile, show them how to do it, and be like, you can do this too. I'm not doing anything special. You can also do this. So I like inspiring. I think that's my most motivation is out of inspiring other people.
Well, if there's anyone listening who, there's probably some people who might need some inspiration to, maybe they might be a little nervous to go to a flow festival or maybe even try out fire spinning the fire arts. What would you say to someone who is considering going in, or like any props or way you'd recommend?
I mean, I think with everything in life, you got to understand that you want to do it first. So once you make the decision, that's something I desire, there you go. Now you can work towards it. The second thing is to be social about it. Like say it out loud. Like, I want to learn to fire dance. Whoa, that pepper's really hot.
Yeah, I'm feeling it too.
I just got to take some breaths. And then once you know you want something, you can go get it. Once you say you want something, then the community can help you get it. And you can like work towards achieving it. Oh, we got more water in
We got
here.
some fresh water. Thank you, Liz.
Oh, man.
My lovely girlfriend,
And
for
my
helping
mouth is
me out.
on fire. Whew. Doesn't matter how many peppers you eat, it still burns. There is no tolerance. You just accept the burn.
Just like fire spinning. I mean, that's a common question we get asked,
Yep.
right? Which is, do you ever get burned?
Oh yeah, I mean, you just got to accept it. You
Accept
got to
it.
become one with the understanding that the worst possible scenario is still a better outcome if I do it than not do it. Firewalking, you could get a burn, you could get a blister, but it's worth it. Fire dancing, I could get burned, but it's worth it. And it's only going to be a reminder of something that you're going to really look back on and smile about.
And what are, can you think of any things that fire dancing has taught you that have influenced your life completely outside of the circus arts?
I mean, I would say the same thing with fire dancing as fire walking, which is being present in the moment. When something's on fire in front of you, you're paying attention to it. You're not distracted. It doesn't matter if someone's calling you on your cell phone. If you're in the middle of a burn, you're not going to pick up. You're in the moment. You're paying attention to that fire. And I think that's a really important thing that, like I said earlier, we just don't have enough opportunities to really pay attention 100% in the moment in life, and this is a beautiful example of that. So meditation does that. Meditation is like being present with yourself, checking with yourself, and just giving that its due time, So yeah, I think fire in general shows us a way we can do that, and also relates back to wake up in the morning, take 5 minutes to just be present. Look at the room around you, take a few breaths, drink some water, be present, and then, go about the day and like get distracted, whatever, go and what you want to do, but collect yourself first,
And then I know you got a lot of fans who have probably picked up contact staff and many props since you've been teaching and doing some introductions for people. What would be some tips for someone who's just getting really frustrated? They just can't nail that trick.
I mean, the cool thing with staves is you can slow it down. I say I don't play with flaccid props because, the first time I spun poi years ago, you stop spinning and the momentum carries itself through the chain, the rope, whatever, and it then hit me in the balls. But a staff, if I stop, it'll stop. So with staves, it has a unique ability. You can go as slow as you want to. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's Bruce Lee.
And slowing it down sometimes can help you break the trick down and
Sure.
learn
And
it.
also there's so many resources these days. You can not only look on YouTube, but you could just Skype someone, ask someone on Facebook, and immediately get an answer, immediately get a video. Throw out on Instagram who can do this, and you'll get a slow motion video of it. Use your resources.
It's definitely well covered today. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about, or anything you'd like to see in the fire community?
I mean, it's a beautiful community. It's been growing so much. I've been super lucky and happy that it's carried me and been supportive for so many years now. I can't believe that playing with a stick has taken me around the world.
Yeah.
Like, not only
Being a
just
Ninja Turtle, right?
Yeah. Like, I grew up on a farm where we had greenhouses and PVC pipes, and I would spin a PVC pipe thinking I was a Ninja Turtle, thinking I was a Jedi. And, like, here I am getting, like, flown out to India with Performers Without Borders, teaching children in slum communities how to spin a stick.
Oh, that's right. We didn't talk about your time with Performers Without Borders. For people who don't know, you've spent 2 years working with that organization.
I spent like 5 years now.
5 years, I'm sorry.
But there was 2 trips.
2 trips, okay. Yeah. Where did you go on those trips?
So, I mean, social circus is the idea of going to a different place and volunteering to teach underprivileged communities circus arts. And the idea is that circus arts are empowering. Man, that pepper, I got like, I'm crying.
I'm going to take one more
Oh,
bite.
we should finish it off.
Yeah.
Yep. We're there.
There we go. Last bit.
Oh, man, I just touched my eye, too. It's like burning the side of my face. It wasn't really my eye. It's like my nose eye. It's like the taint of my eye and nose.
Let the cloudy mineral water.
Oh, yeah, that's more pepper.
Whew.
Whoa. So, social circus.
Oh.
I went to Thailand for my first one with, Spark Circus. And then from there, I went to India with Performers Without Borders, and then I did Kenya with Performers Without Borders. These are tours that usually last a few months. So my first one was like a month and a half. My India one was like 4 months. Kenya one was like 2.5 months. And you just go into these amazing areas that need inspiration, and you bring gifts of props, juggling, joy, shows, colorful behavior, and you just inspire the community, meet new people, hang out with them for a few weeks, and then move on. And it's just a beautiful way to like travel the world, see the world, and share a passion, while at the same time feeling like you're accepted by a local community, because there's no way I could like stay comfortably in some of these places without meeting the community. You know, you need the community support to kind of be in these tragic places where people are having really hard times, you know.
Mm-hmm. And wow, that's very well put. I think let's just end on that note. That's excellent.
Yeah, this pepper's taking me home.
Yeah, but before I let you go, though, for people who want to find some of your videos, your YouTube channel, your Instagram, what's your social media plugs?
So my name is Tyler Spades, but my last name Spades is kind of what I go by as a stage name. And my website, my Instagram, my Facebook is all under Spinning Spades. So SPINNING SPADES. And at symbol Spinning Spades. That's Instagram, Facebook, Tyler Spades on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you for setting our mouths on fire and doing this podcast.
Yeah, my stomach is like a brick right now.
All right. Well, we're going to have to get the world's hottest pepper next time.
Oh, man. The Pepper X. I'll bring it next year.
The Pepper X.
I'm growing them.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Give me an amazing hug and enjoy the rest of your day, man.
All right. Thank you.
Fire now.
If you want to support the All Things Fire podcast, head on over to patreon.com and search for Morgan Floki. Thank you for all your support, travelers. Have a great day.